Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to the desktop for another retro RPG. And this week I would like to present this. Paranoia, the role-playing game, Alice Through the Mirrorshades, a crossover adventure with R. Talzorian Games' Cyberpunk role-playing game, part of their Vulture Warriors of Dimension X series. Now, it's an adventure and I don't like detailing too much what goes on in adventures, just in case anybody wants to run them. I don't want to do spoilers. But I did want to go through this because I think it's an interesting look at what West End Games was doing at the time, because this came out in 1989, and they'd kind of changed Paranoia as a role-playing game. Paranoia, as it's set up in the rulebook, is a role-playing game, as I've detailed in a past video, where you are troubleshooters, people from a underground bunker, like the vaults in Fallout, but a massive city-sized one, which is run by an insane computer that was damaged in the Third World War. Now, the only programming the computer had left was that it was protecting brave Americans from the commies. Unfortunately, all programming on what commies are was destroyed in the war, and it's just looking out. It's a paranoid computer. It's created a paranoid civilization. Everybody is clones. Nobody really knows how things work, not even the computer that's in charge. But the computer is your friend, and the computer is looking out for you, even if it involves having to kill you first. Now, for some reason, they decided to change this, and they had an adventure called The Iceman Cometh, where a high programmer from the past comes back, realizes that there's something wrong with the computer, he's been in deep freeze, and he remembers what things should be like, and he ends up shutting down the computer, which leads to the Crash Course Manual, where the Alpha Complex is drastically changed, because there is no computer running everything anymore. The civilization is crumbling. Different high programmers have taken over different sections. There's different tribes. It's all chaotic, which is kind of interesting, but not the purity of the Paranoia idea. There's just too much going on. So they decided to try and reboot it, and they brought in these Vulture Warriors of Dimension X series, where troubleshooters were getting sent through time to different settings in an attempt to go into the past before the Third World War and reboot the computer or stop it ever being crashed. Change history. And this was the first of these adventures. This is where they go back in time and they end up in the cyberpunk setting, which doesn't make 100% success, but the paranoid computer being left over from the 1950s or something, and its programming being wiped of everything after that, is entirely possible. You could crowbar it in there. And it's a tongue-in-cheek look at cyberpunk. So let's have a look at the back cover, first of all. Alice Through the Mirrorshades. Welcome to Dimension X. Help us, troubleshooters, your only hope. The computer has crashed, and that's put a lot of high programmers out of work. Rather than stand for the ignominy of the welfare lines, not to mention avoid a chainsaw haircut at the hands of disgruntled infrareds, the high programmers conceive a desperate plan. Retroactively prevent the crash by travelling back in time and execute the man responsible. The success of the plan hinges on a squad of 6 crack troubleshooters, the Vulture Warriors of Dimension X, which only goes to show how desperate the high programmers really are. Cyberpunk players alert! Yes, you too can join in the Paranoia experience, simply by running this adventure. As the first in the Vulture Warriors series, the adventure is compatible with both Paranoia and the Cyberpunk role-playing rules from R. Talzorian Games Incorporated. Don't worry, we've got permission up front. So you can run Paranoia player characters and Cyberpunk non-player characters, or vice versa. Or you can mix and match, we don't care, just as long as there are no survivors. This adventure contains a full-length 40-page adventure through space and time to the age of peace in pre-alpha San Francisco, handouts, props, ridiculous player activities, and a lot of nifty cyber stuff, a full set of Paranoia player characters, and a full set of Cyberpunk characters, 2 for the price of 1, the most insane Paranoia encounters ever published. And that's the setup for it. Now, it's a Paranoia adventure, not a Cyberpunk one, So the detailing for Cyberpunk is very, very brief inside. Basically, for Paranoia, you've got the troubleshooters traveling to the cyberpunk world and getting to take a very tongue-in-cheek look at it. From the cyberpunk side of things, you would have these weird characters turning up, and either the cyberpunk characters trying to protect the person that they're there to assassinate, or helping the troubleshooters out and working alongside these bizarre characters who turn out to be from an alternate future post-Holocaust world. And it's a tongue-in-cheek look. Its humor isn't absolutely classic, but it's Paranoia and it's quite fun. We get them arriving in the cyberpunk world and getting attacked by a gang and hit and runs and stuff like that. Very, very tongue-in-cheek. We've got the pre-generated characters with names like William Gibson there. As I said, I don't want to spoil it, but no doubt at the end, although the characters possibly can succeed, the setup for the campaign is that they don't, and they have to go traveling through time again. There's another crossover with Twilight 2000. They go to a library, go ask Alice, I'm running their stalkings. What else we got? Oh, they go into the global network and meet bizarre characters. I believe there's like a weird plan of the network somewhere in here. Do we have a picture? Yes, there we go. So that's like the network design, and it's just supposed to make fun of the cyberpunk networks looking very, very complex, where you've got ice and all that kind of things. These are just blobs on. You can't get from there to here. Access area to San Francisco. It's nonsense, but it's supposed to be fun. And that's all it is. It's a bit of fun. It's not a great Paranoia adventure. It's nowhere near the best one, which I consider to be Clones in Space, which is just absolutely hilarious and crazy and perfect Paranoia. This isn't a period of Paranoia I personally liked. The crossover doesn't work particularly well, but it was a fun idea, probably worth trying, and maybe worth a wee look. If you wanted to insert some fun into a cyberpunk campaign by having weird characters turn up, then it might be worth a look for that. Anyway, just a brief look through that. Thank you very much for watching. As always, please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. But most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.